grave warning, and we need to discuss it urgently. In fact, in these critical times, we must definitely pay attention for the critical warnings and the news that is being released. In fact, this warning is about a dangerous disease with no cure and could ultimately prove to be fatal. And it's very important that we talk about it and we stay informed. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. We have enough on our plates, Ron, with the undiagnosed pneumonia outbreak spreading across China. We've got the new hypersonic missile that the U.S. may not be able to stop. We've got global threats issued by Iran that could ultimately lead to World War III. And of course, let's not forget about the looming issues here at home, leading to some very big changes to Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and many others, including VA benefits and the lot. Meanwhile, United States Congress continues to issue billions of dollars overseas. And mind you, this is taxpayer dollars being sent overseas to fight wars for other countries. I truly get it. I definitely get it, guys. But if you appreciate being informed, please take a second, click the like button for the video and subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it. So first, let's just quickly talk about this deadly disease. It's called the zombie deer disease, but its real name is the chronic wasting disease, CWD. So this CWD disease, it makes deer sick, and it's definitely spreading. In fact, the symptoms are rather scary. It's like drooling and the deer's not moving. It can definitely be very bad for deer, but it can also be very bad for people too. Now, we don't know all of the different long-term effects, but it's definitely almost always deadly. And we got some very important news to share with you guys about a serious health issue that might happen right now. And it's called listeria. Now, I don't know how many of you guys are aware of this right now, but it's spreading in different parts of the United States, including states like Florida. In fact, the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, they want everyone to be safe. So, I'm just here to tell you guys what I'm relaying the CDC's message and what's going on so that you and your family can protect yourselves. I'm not a doctor. I'll cite my sources down below in the description of this video if you guys want to go ahead and follow up after the live ends. So there's this disease that's called listeria, and it can make people very sick if they eat contaminated food. Now, right now, there's an outbreak of listeria in 7 states, and of course, Florida is one of them. Now, if you want the full list of states, I'll be sharing that with our Patreon community. It's totally free, guys. If you guys want to check out or join our Patreon community, which is free, I'll leave a link for you guys in the pinned comment down below this video and in the description. We'd love to have you over there. Many of you have already joined the Patreon group as well as our brand new YouTube channel called Truth Exposed. We'd love to have you in both of our new communities. Now, this particular outbreak is connected to some fruits like peaches, nectarines, and plums. And this came from a company called HMC Farms. It may actually have come from other places beyond HMC Farms, but this is at least what we know so far. Now, the CDC, they've already recalled these fruits because they've deemed them to be harmful. Now, I'm just looking and I'm seeing that we already have nearly 500 people in our live. Guys, we only have 105 likes in here. If you could do me a huge one, please drop a quick like. It only takes a second. See if we can get the likes up to like 300 likes. I would really appreciate the support that you guys provide on each and every single one of my videos. And as long as you guys support me, I will continue to provide you guys with the information that you appreciate hearing and knowing about. So listeria can make people feel really sick, especially if they're very young or if they're very old, or if they have very weak immune systems, kind of like the same group of people that were severely impacted during the last pandemic, if you guys kind of remember the demographics that were hit. So it can cause fever, stomach aches, and other kind of bad, awful symptoms. So I really hope that you guys are paying attention and you're spreading the word. Please also share this video with someone you care about so that they are aware of what's going on here. And we just want to make sure that you guys stay healthy out there. So, that's why I'm telling you guys about it. So you might be asking, like, what the heck is being done about this? What are they doing? Now, some of the people who work at the CDC, they got together to talk about how to stop listeria from spreading, right? But here's a real tricky part about it. They made some rules called guidelines, right? And That made some people say it's not safe enough. They want more. So anyway, these guidelines are about how doctors and nurses should protect themselves from diseases like listeria. Now, it's clear why so many people are worried right now. And by the way, if you guys could let me know if you're able to hear me okay, see me okay. This is a live video. I didn't bother to ask in the beginning, but hopefully you guys are able to see and hear me okay. But anyway, so, some people are worried because they think that these new guidelines might not keep healthcare workers and their patients safe, because it's not just the healthcare workers. Awesome. I got Rodney Bruce in here confirming, Jacqueline Green, Angie Burvinkle, Mary Geach. I can hear you. Tabby Parker. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you. But again, they're concerned that the guidelines say regular surgical masks. Now, we've heard this before, guys. You guys let me know if this sounds familiar, okay? This is the CDC. They're concerned that the guidelines say regular surgical masks are as good as N95 masks in protecting people from germs. So I'm going to let you guys let me know what you think about this. But some experts disagree and say that the N95 masks are safer. People like Peg Samario, who used to work for Worker Safety, and Rosalie Bright, who worked for the FDA. They're saying that these guidelines are not good enough, meaning it's below standard. They say that the number of sick healthcare workers increased last year and that these new guidelines might actually make things even worse. Now, of course, we're heading into the flu season. I've already shared with you guys. I mentioned how there's an ongoing undiagnosed pneumonia outbreak going on in China. And remember, right around this time last year, right around this time before the pandemic, there was an outbreak that took place in China that quickly spread around the world and greatly impacted the United States. So, there's a lot of things that are spreading quickly, and we need to be aware of what's going on and protect ourselves. It's not about being fearful. It's about being aware so that you can protect yourselves, protect your family. I'm pretty sure if you were aware of the pandemic that was coming down the pipeline, more people would have been ready and properly prepared beforehand. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree. So we've got almost 600 people in our live right now. If you guys could just quickly drop a like for us. If we can get the likes up to like 400 likes, I would totally appreciate it here on today's live. So even though this might sound a little bit scary, there are some things that we can do to keep safe, right? So number one, obviously, listen to your parents, listen to your doctors. If they tell you not to eat certain fruits, if they tell you not to eat certain foods, make sure you follow their advice. Some of these advice measures are very simple, but they're very important. Wash your hands. You'd be surprised how many people you encounter, you might shake hands with. They don't even wash their hands. I was in the bathroom the other day, and I watched the guy use the urinal next to me, and he just walked right out. And I'm like, this is just unbelievable. So you never know what people are doing. And anyway, I'm just putting it out there because it's just ridiculous sometimes. But it's simple things. Wash your hands with soap and water before eating, after using the bathroom. These are some simple courtesy things that help keep germs away from you and from spreading to other people. Always talk to adults that are informed about, important news, related to health and safety, just simple things like that. Listen to your doctor, go to the doctor, and ask the doctor's questions, right? Hopefully you have a good, primary care physician. Simple things. That's all I'm saying, right? And I feel like it's just wild how this outbreak is impacting Florida. I mean, just think, how many people visit Florida for vacation and then they head back home to their home states, right? Now, granted, this is not necessarily like the peak season at all. In fact, it's probably kind of dead in Florida right now. But a lot of people visit Florida. So with this outbreak taking place in Florida, just think about how quickly things could spread. And this is like the week of Thanksgiving. So there's a lot of travelers heading to and from Florida. So even if there's not a lot of people visiting Florida, there's a lot of Floridians visiting other states. So just think about how quickly this thing could spread. I'm just putting it out here because A lot of people aren't aware, and I think my community appreciates being informed and updated with what is going on. So, anyway, Florida, it's known for its beautiful, sunny climate, right? It's known for low taxes and affordable housing. But it has literally become a hotbed of activity in recent times, albeit reasons that aren't necessarily as appealing as its beaches and its weather. In fact, the state of Florida is witnessing a phenomenon where a significant number of its residents are bidding farewell to the sunshine state of Florida. Now, I still love Florida, but a lot of Florida residents are opting for greener pastures in neighboring states. So you might be asking yourself, maybe asking me in the comments, what's driving people out of Florida? Well, there's a lot of reasons why people are leaving Florida, but one of the culprits is none other than the skyrocketing insurance premiums. And it's a huge, massive problem. It's a massive issue that's making it increasingly difficult for homeowners to continue calling Florida home. A lot of people are literally just getting kind of wiped out. Homeowners, would-be home buyers, they're getting priced out of the housing market, and people who live in Florida are finding it more and more difficult to be able to stay in Florida because of how expensive it is becoming. And I'm talking about Florida, but it's not just Florida. There are a lot of other states, New York, California, Texas, Illinois, Missouri, Georgia, South Carolina, Virginia, all being impacted by increasing insurance rates. And it's unbelievable what is happening. It's getting to the point where affordability for housing it's going to be out of reach. And we'll be forced to rent. Some people will be forced to rent. Others will be able to manage because they've, properly strategized their finances to be able to withstand these increases. But a lot of people are not necessarily going to be ready. So, one of the things I decided to share over on in our Patreon community are different tips, hacks, strategies for increasing income, work from home opportunities, side hustle opportunities, different ways to increase, maybe even start a small business from home, different ideas that many people are not aware of that will definitely increase the likelihood of survival and economic survival going forward. So if you guys want to join us for that information, feel free to join us over in the Patreon community. There's a link in the description down below this video and in the pinned comment. It's totally free. If you guys want that free information, I'll be posting more of that content over there. Now, one of the primary drivers behind this mass exodus in Florida is the exponential rise in insurance premiums. Now, if you guys think about it, over the last half a decade, home insurance costs in the state of Florida has surged by more than 300%. And it's not just Florida. It's not just Florida that's seeing these massive surges in home insurance costs. In fact, one of my premiums was coming up recently, and my insurance agent called me up before it expired, warning me in advance. Hey, Ron, your insurance premium's coming up. I'm just telling you now. I've already started shopping insurance rates. Everybody's high. And yours, he was talking to me. He was like, your insurance premiums are going to be going up, but you're already with the best company. So it's almost like I can't even shop around for a better rate. So it's wild. I don't know. You guys comment down below. Let me know if you guys are seeing higher insurance, higher homeowners insurance, higher property taxes taking place where you're at. So, just let me know if it's just me. Is it mainly just Florida? But I'm pretty sure it's not just Florida. Now, to put some things into perspective, the state's average annual homeowners insurance premium now sits well over $4,200 a year, which, if you think about it, is significantly higher than the national average, which is only about $1,700 a year for homeowners insurance. 40% more in Northwest Indiana. My taxes and insurance have doubled in Florida, according to Stacy Bryan. I appreciate your update, Stacy. Cindy Zach said 40% more in Northwest Indiana. My car insurance already went up middle of this year, according to Debo 21. Let's see. Lala Lucky McQuid says, I use Erie Insurance Company and their rates are awesome. Okay, we may have to look that company up. So, okay, the old bag says home and car insurance up again. So evidently, it's not just me. So anyway, Florida's ongoing battle with increasing frequent and severe hurricanes is really at the heart of the insurance pandemic. Not to mention all these, claims being submitted to insurance companies for this, that, and the other. Since 2017, though, the state of Florida has been battered by four major hurricanes, three of which were categorized as either a category 4, or category 5. And these natural disasters have literally inflicted damage worth tens of billions of dollars. And it ultimately left a lot of the insurance companies either insolvent or just kind of grappling with substantial losses trying to stay in business. And to make matters worse, the reinsurance rates for insurers, which they rely on to mitigate the financial risks that are associated with large-scale natural disasters, have literally been on the rise. And they continue to be on the rise. In fact, this surge in the insurance costs has left homeowners with a fairly hefty financial burden that many are struggling to be able to just kind of bear, right? And this is what I'm talking about. A lot of people are not prepared for these increased costs. And so this is one of the reasons why I decided to create this community to help educate our community about different options that are available. So if you haven't already, definitely hit the link in the pinned comment, join our Patreon community. It's totally free. Now, for retirees on fixed incomes, these premium hikes are nothing short of a nightmare. Some people have received letters from their insurance companies telling them that their insurance is increasing by $1,000 a year, $2,000 a year, $3,000 a year, 200%. And at the same time, some of these same people are getting letters from the Social Security Administration telling them that they owe the SSA thousands of dollars. The Social Security Administration has overpaid them, and now the Social Security wants SSI, SSDI, and Social Security recipients to pay them thousands of dollars back for the overpayments that they screwed up in the first place, but now it's your fault. Now you're supposed to pay that money back. So, yeah. So anyway, as these private insurance companies continue to try to exit the state of Florida due to the escalating risks and the losses, a lot of these Floridians are left with no choice but to seek refuge in Citizens Property Insurance Corporation. Now, if you guys haven't heard, Citizens Property Insurance Corporation is a state-run insurance provider meant as a last resort. So it's not like Allstate, it's not like Travelers or State Farm, Jake from State Farm. No, I'm just kidding. It's not like those companies. This is one of those last resort companies. And unfortunately, some people are actually having to use them. And that's a huge problem. So, this growing reliance on the state for coverage is really posing its own financial risks. So think about it. In the event of a major hurricane like Andrew, or what was that last one? If you guys remember that last major hurricane that pretty much wiped out Fort Myers. Anyway, if another major hurricane makes landfall in a populous city, then the financial burden on Florida's economy would definitely be catastrophic. Thank you. Brian Warner reminded me it was Hurricane Ian. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. The old bag says Hurricane Irma as well. So, yeah. So just imagine the financial burden on Florida's economy could be catastrophic if that were to happen. Whoa, we got over 717 people in this live. If you guys can get us up to 700 likes, that would be amazing. I totally appreciate you guys. Now, some speculate that there may be, I don't know, I'm just saying, some people are speculating there may be some ulterior motives behind these premium hikes. Maybe these insurance companies don't necessarily have to hike their rates as high as they're doing. Maybe, kind of like those shortages that we had seen, companies were underproducing to keep the prices high. That way, they could increase their profit margins by keeping the demand high and the supply low. Maybe the insurance companies are doing something similar. We don't know. I don't know this for sure. But there is speculation that this may be happening in the industry. I don't know for sure. I'll have to do more digging on that. Anyway, hurricanes are undoubtedly posing a substantial risk. And there are a lot of suspicions that this could also be an attempt to make the state less appealing for residents and more lucrative for tourists. Tourists are seemingly unbothered by the exorbitant costs. They're willing to shell out thousands of dollars for short stays in Florida. And don't get me wrong, Florida is great. Florida is a wonderful place to stay if you don't necessarily want to leave the country. I know we've got a border situation and a lot of people are not necessarily comfortable going overseas. So Florida is a great vacation destination if you don't necessarily want to fly to the Caribbean or fly to Sydney, Australia, or different tourist destinations within Mexico. But some people are still okay with it. Some people are, I'm seeing posts on Facebook. People are going to Cancun. People are going to Cabos, different parts of Mexico. So people are, but again, there's always a segment of the population that's like, no, I don't feel comfortable leaving the United States right now, and I get it. So people are just like, hey, I'm going to pay through the nose, but I'm going to Florida anyway. So maybe Florida becomes a 90% tourist state for all I know. But then again, there's a lot of new listings hitting Airbnb, and Airbnb prices are really going down. So it's going to be it's a very interesting dichotomy where Florida is getting so expensive that it may just become a tourist place, a tourist state. But at the same time, what about the existing homeowners that are still there? I don't know how many homeowners want to be surrounded by short-term rentals. Can you imagine you lived in a neighborhood and it turned into a short-term rental neighborhood and everyone around you is like, it's like a different face every 4 days because no one actually lives there. It's only people who are Airbnb or Airbnb the property there. Like, I would think that might be a little bit unsafe, especially if you have kids and whatnot. I don't know. So anyway, tourists, apparently, they don't care about these high prices. They don't care about how exorbitant these costs become in the state of Florida. They're willing to shell out thousands of dollars just to hang out in Florida for a week or so. Anyway, I'm just saying, if locals end up getting priced out, then the tourism industry could thrive. But the implications for residents, as I mentioned, they become a little bit alarming, definitely concerning to say the least. So what are you guys' thoughts on this? Let me know what you guys are thinking. XRP Watt says, I've been overseas for 18 years now, work in Kuwait, also live in the Philippines, and I'm from Texas. I love to travel and I'm not afraid to do so. Okay. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your input on that, XRP Watts. But yeah, man, guys, go ahead and hit the like button. We're at 699 likes. Can we hit 700? I mean, come on. Can we get to 700? Anyway, in essence, Florida's allure it's waning, due to the cost of insurance premiums. The state's reputation as a desirable destination does remain intact, but the financial landscape is shifting. Florida, gone are the days of Florida being looked at as like a cheap state to visit or a cheap state to buy real estate, a cheap state to invest in real estate or buy a home, a primary residence. Florida's not cheap anymore. I remember we used to go to Florida. We could pick a decent hotel and we could stay in a nice hotel for like $100 a night. Now, $100 a night, you might have to pay $100 to park. Anyway, so this delicate balance between profit and people's well-being is increasingly evident. So I'm going to keep you guys posted on what's going on here. Hopefully things continue to improve, but whether Florida will find a solution to make insurance premiums a little bit more manageable for its residents, meanwhile maintaining its attractiveness, it remains to be seen. But, hopefully they can get their act together. I'm pretty sure that things will. I'm just an optimistic person. I hope that things get better. I enjoy Florida. I'd love to buy property there, but right now it's just way too expensive. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have, drop a quick like for the video. Consider subscribing to the channel and check out the Patreon down below and the new YouTube channel called Truth Exposed. I think you guys will like it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Be safe.